Hello, guys. It's never a dull moment. Last night, Jaguar was making the rounds. She was on Night and Day Network. She did an interview with them, which you're going to hear. And then she jumped on the King Payne show and she dropped some tea with him also. So now let's listen to the first interview, which is the Night and Day Network. And she was talking about her jail time and what she experienced. But before we get into it, let's hit the subscribe button, share the video at the end of the video, and definitely hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed already. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the video.
I called a few different people in Detroit, but I couldn't get anybody because it was during the workday. It was in the middle of the morning when that happened. Hence, next thing you know, I get a phone call from Genesis. Do you need my help getting her out? And I said, I can't, through my contacts, I can't get her out until this evening. And we sent them all. I have all of the receipts. All of that money was sent to Legina Gold.
My goodness, it's been how many months? And people are still talking about how much money Legina Gold was sent in Detroit. It's going on how many months? My goodness, this thing is not going to die down, folks.
The thing that I did was earnest. I got offered a deal. I got offered probation. And guess what? I'm good. Take me to trial. Next court date is next month, but I have my competency hearing this week with the new doctor. And we had a great conversation. I can't wait to do the competency evaluation. What's really interesting was the reason why I was found incompetent last time was because Dr. Pittman said, the forensic psychiatrist for Dallas County, who's about 110 years old. I don't even know why they still let him work. But he said that I answered all the questions right, but I was spouting delusions of grandeur because I wasn't Jaguar right. I was making that up. That's why I was declared incompetent, because I told him the truth about who I am. I'm sorry. That shit still cracks me up. Can you imagine? They was going to send me to the state mental hospital because I told them the truth. So one, you're lazy and incompetent because you didn't bother to do your own work, doctor. And two, you're probably just a hater. And then there's the other side of that pancake. Maybe you've been encouraged to find me incompetent because don't nobody want me going to trial. Maybe don't nobody want me going to trial because of what I'm going to say on the stand about why I was really arrested all of those times and put in a hospital and drugged. You know, and then they still have to also answer for the poisoning because I was poisoned while I was in jail this time. Dr. Pittman changed my medication, and when I took it, my mouth blew up, my face blew up, I had bleeding sores from my gums.
There are some medications that will make your gum bleed. There are other medications that will cause rashes. And they are medications that will make your face blow up. So maybe the medication Jaguar is on or was on, she was allergic to. But that does not mean she should have just stopped taking all medications. Just that particular one she should have stopped and then have them prescribe something else that she's not allergic to.
Skin rashes popped up all over my body. And after that, of course, I refused medication. I'm not going to take some shit after you poison me. The medication that they gave me was not the medication that was prescribed to me by the other doctors who were more than credible that I saw. And they upped my meds from once a day to 3 times a day. And when I tried to comply and take it in less than 48 hours, my mouth was bleeding. Like sores on my gums. I went to go brush my teeth and pieces of my gum was coming out. The left side of my face had swollen. I was having chest pains. I was poisoned. Period. That's malpractice. You want to know what it made me think about? My friend Albie Shore. He went to the doctor and he ended up in a coma. Of course, I wasn't going to continue to take that medication after I had that very, very, very negative co-reaction. And if you were giving me what had already been prescribed to me, which was all you were supposed to be doing, where did all these new meds and all these new, how do I go from 2 pills to 10 pills? Kind of makes me wonder what would have happened to me if I had kept on complying. You know, so there's a lot of nefarious things that are going on. And I can't talk too much more about my case. I will not speak about it. All I'm sharing with you guys now is what I experienced while I was away. And, you know, altogether between Dallas and Bossier, I did about 38 days in isolation in the hole. You should have saw them. They were amazed. All I did was write, sing, and work out. That's all I did. A lot of people, even some people now watching it, hearing this broadcast, watching this chat, that you couldn't go 7 days locked up in the same room, not being able to leave, washing in that little teeny sink, doing your laundry by hand.
That little hard ass toilet. Metal.
Yeah. Guess what? They was mad. They was mad that I wasn't, and it was so crazy because somebody was saying something, and they was sitting up there, you ain't never gonna get out. You ain't never gonna get out. There was actually a point in time in Bossier where I could have been out, but they didn't allow hair extensions. And I'm like, she did admit to it. Yeah. Her charges are going to be interesting for fraud because her name was never on my bond. Angela Owusu's name was on my bond. She called the bond man and pretended to be Legina.
So in this next part, you guys are going to hear Jaguar saying she never believed that Legina is R. Kelly and Aaliyah's daughter. So all that revving up and lying and asking for donations and DNA testing. Now, Jaguar is claiming she only did that because she knew that the DNA was going to come back negative. And she just wanted to prove her wrong. I mean, the lies that goes on in this woman's head, it's unbelievable. She was willing to put her head on a block that Legina was who she said she was claiming, and now she's saying different because she and Legina had a falling out. So now she's going to throw her under the bus. Let's take a listen.
I know you never believed that shit, right?
Of course not.
That shit was just.
But that's not the point. The point is, listen to me.
A little bit.
She is the real life Splice. I got it all documented. The big interview for me was after we did the DNA, and it proved that she wasn't. I just wanted her to tell me why.
So let me ask you something. So did she lie about being in danger when she was?
Well, let me just be honest. I believe that was all a plot that was set up by her and Genesis.
Oh, Lord, I cannot keep up. Now, Genesis is the one who got together with Legina to set up this plot. Why? I don't see the angle, Jaguar. But I'm sure you are going to explain it to us. Let's continue to listen.
See, her and Genesis knew each other. Genesis was in Detroit for almost 10 days. The same time the whole Ashes and me being arrested and thrown into the hospital happened. All of that happened while Genesis was in Detroit.
Now, folks, Genesis said that she was away. She and Shaka, because they were doing some type of story they wanted to do on her baby's daddy, and they were doing the filming, I think she said. That's why she was away. And then that's the same time that Solar called Genesis to ask her if Jaguar and him can sleep at her house, because Jaguar didn't get a lot of sleep because of all the drama. The drama I'm talking about is the barbershop incident between Solar and Goomba. But a lot of people were saying something must have happened between Jaguar and Solar. Why she was so protective of him. But now, I know people are really going to wonder because they did sleep in the same house without Genesis and, what's his name, Shaka there. Because Genesis and Shaka were in Detroit. They were away. That's what Genesis said. They were away. And Solar called for permission for Jaguar and him to sleep at the house. So I don't know if anything happened, folks. But you know, it's mighty suspicious. But Genesis, as far as I know, did not know Legina. But of course, now that Genesis and Jaguar have had a falling out and Legina chose to be with Genesis, I guess Jaguar is looking at it as, okay, Legina is ungrateful and she's going to bury both of them because now she has grown to dislike both of them.
Where Legina's from, where Genesis is from. And they're both trolls in the same sectors. The day that Legina begged me to take her, I talked to her offline and I told her I had another ride for her. There was a band that was leaving from Detroit on its way to Austin and they were going to stop in Dallas. And I said, this way you don't have to be on the record. We don't have to get you a ticket. No one has to see you. We can get you out safely. on the tour bus.
I don't know why Jaguar thinks that we're going to believe her now. She has lied all these months. Now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe what she's saying is the truth? Honey, you are proven to be a liar. So why would we believe anything that's coming out of your mouth? But I'm wondering what changed, because before Jaguar was saying she would put her head on a block that Regina are these people's daughter, R. Kelly and Aaliyah. So there's a complete turnaround. I wonder what changed. Was it because maybe they fell out and she's no longer content? You can't make money off of her anymore? It's a complete turnaround. You are proven to be a liar, so we don't believe anything that you're saying.
That she had to go right then because she thought the pest control man was working for the Illuminati. And she insisted and insisted. And I called a few different people in Detroit, but I couldn't get anybody because it was during the workday. It was in the middle of the morning when that happened.
Genesis said it was her people, her friend, who went and got Legina. So I don't know what Jaguar is talking about, that she called a few people, couldn't get anybody. But this is what she's saying now. But back then, she said her people went and got Legina. She was claiming that her people went. Now, Genesis recently came out and said, no, it wasn't Jaguar's people. It was my people. So let me tell you something, folks. The level of lying is unbelievable. Everybody's lying. That's what I'm thinking right now. I don't know the truth from the lies because there's so much lying.
Hence, next thing you know, I get a phone call from Genesis. Do you need my help getting her out? And I said, I can't, through my contacts, I can't get her out until this evening.
To be quite honest, I can't see Genesis calling Jaguar to ask her if she needs her help, because she wasn't in the picture from the get-go. She had no involvement in all this. Genesis was busy running her businesses. However, I can see Jaguar reaching out to Genesis.
All of the receipts, all of that money was sent to Legina Gold.
Now, the show of hands, all those who believe that all the money was sent to Legina, put your hands up. Or drop your comments in the comments section. I would love to know who believed that crap, that all the money was sent to Legina, when at the time, and even currently, it's a money grab.
But everything that I did was earnest. I always thought there was a little strength. I got a lot of work done while I was in jail this time. Well, I said it from the very beginning. She was goddamn free. What else could she be other than content?
Well, here, Jaguar is saying Legina was just content and she never believed anything that she said. So she was just using Legina for money, using this mentally ill individual for money. And it's just a level of low that people will go to for money. It's a true saying. Money is the root of all evil. People will do anything for it. So she knew she was using Legina for content from the get-go. And she brought her from Detroit to Texas, uprooted her from her family. Instead of calling her family when Legina said she felt as though she was unsafe and somebody was trying to get her, instead of calling that young woman's family and saying, listen, can you all go pick her up from her apartment because she feels threatened by someone? You're a stranger, and you took this young woman who is mentally ill out of her comfort zone into a different state. When you know she just came out of the mental institution 2 weeks prior and she needed to follow up with her treatment, you did that willfully and deliberately by your own admission. So what you're telling us is that you trafficked Legina. It wasn't for sex, but it was for content. So what kind of human being are you really? And these other two guys knew about it. I mean, the level of low that people will go to for money, it's unbelievable. So then Jaguar said everything is content, along with the people who were interviewing her. And everything should not be for content. There's some things that you should not cross. Some lines you should not cross, like using a mentally ill individual, using them for your own gain, monetary gain. That line should have never been crossed. And then taking the person out of state into a different state. You're trafficking that person. That should be a crime. And I think if an attorney got on the case and look into it, I'm sure a crime is in there somewhere. I'm sure Jaguar can be charged for something.
In DeSoto, Texas, mid-March. Angela bailed me out the next day. I did not ask her to do so. This was her choice. At the same time, Monica Lockett came to the DeSoto jail to bring me medication, which she purchased, which I never picked up, lying, saying that she was my sister. I corrected the police, let them know she was not my sister, and that I would not be taking anything brought to me by anyone outside of the jail. We were living at 1000 East Pleasant Run Road in Cedar Hill, Texas, 75104, and Angela lived there as well. Her name and that address was on my bond. The electricity was also in her name at 4713 until we moved out, which I also did not ask her to do. She volunteered to do.
Jaguar, don't be ungrateful. If that young woman who has mental illness did not put her name on that electric bill to get it on and keep it going, y'all would have been in darkness because you had no intention of putting it on, not even for your own mother nor son. So don't be ungrateful. God don't like ugly. He ain't too keen on beauty either, but he sure don't like ugly.
So, how is my bond registered to an address I never lived at? I only visited.
Well, that's what Genesis get, I guess, for putting her house on the bond so Jaguar can get an address. When she gets released, she'd have an address to go to, and if the authorities needed to contact her, they would have a permanent address. That's why Genesis did it. That's what I'm supposing. But Jaguar is ungrateful once again. She can't see why Genesis would even put up her address on the bond. So I guess the next time Jaguar should go ask her family to put their address on the bond. Let's see how that's going to work for you, girl, because you don't get along with not near one member of your family.
Now, Monica Lockett, Teen World 2020, Angela Wilson.
Here comes the conspiracy theory. Poor King World, he can't catch a break. Every situation that Jaguar is involved in, she brings up his name. He is responsible for everything, including blowing up her car. My goodness. I'm telling you, if this man wanted to slap a defamation lawsuit, he would have plenty of evidence.
Now, Monica Lockett, Teen World 2020, Angela Wilson have been conspiring against me for months now. Coordinated cyber attacks against me, stalked me, gang stalked me, and my mother and my son. Hence the day that I was released from Parkland Psych Ward when they were calling me at the restaurant we were having brunch at, Cafe Pacific in Highland Park. Extradited to Dallas.
So then, Jaguar told Night and Day Network that it's a whole bunch of people involved in this conspiracy to bring her down, and she began to name them. Let's take a listen.
Well, it's the whole pack of them. It's a pack. This is a conspiracy plot.
Folks, this is what happens when you don't take your medication. That's why the medication is important. It may cause side effects. That does not mean you should just stop taking them altogether. Switch on a different one. That's why they have tons of medications on the market. So Jaguar is now in her, I'm saying, a state of mania, because I hear the quick talking and I hear the paranoia and her accusing everybody under the sun involved in this conspiracy.
We got at least 8 people involved. You got my sister, Lachelle Wright Wallace, her two daughters, Jamie and Jasmine, my cousin, Crystal Reddick, my ex-husband, Samuel Odom, Nicole Allen, Monica Lockett, a.k.a. DJ Peter Griffith, also known as
my
DJ
Lord,
Kingston.
I'm sorry.
You got King World and the Bean Team, including the woman that was stalking me, who I ended up stalking when she ran off when she wasn't expecting me to come up the street like a middle linebacker and film her and get her tags on camera. All of these people have been working together. They're all in communication. They're all talking to each other. They're all popping up in the same chats, in the same ops channels that I don't mess with. Like, and half of them didn't even know each other until I went to jail. That's called a conspiracy. It only takes 2 people to make a federal conspiracy. I got at least 8. Oh yeah, and Shalana Hunter. Because the connection with my niece is getting looked at to be on the Baddie Show, and she's hosting the Baddie Show, and meanwhile you're sitting there working to keep me in jail, trying to keep people from bonding me out, putting money into my legitimate fund while you're collecting that money yourself. I just gotta say that when it comes to Shalana Hunter, I'm bowing out. You know, I bowed out gracefully. Like she said, we're not friends. We never knew each other. I'd rather leave it like that. You know, let's not make a liar out of her. Let's make her honest about something. Fucking right, me ain't motherfucking friend. I would never have a friend that would treat me like that. The reason why they all went so hard was because they swore to God I was going to jail for good. They've been banking on it. And it's just so interesting how they made sure that I got arrested the day before me and Tasha K did that interview. They cost her that money. They cost her that money because they do not want me and that woman having a conversation about that fucking nasty little piece of fiction. Because every fucking body in that shit did nothing but motherfucking lie. And I've got all the receipts and the verifiable facts to prove it.
So when you gonna get your phone back so you can get on here and create your content, man?
Well, what's about to happen is I told you I gotta go to the police station and file a missing persons report on my mother. Yeah. And then I'll be going to Florida to find her, me and TJ.
So guys, drop it in the comments section and tell me if her mother is missing. She knows where she is. By her admission, she's going to Florida to try to find her. So she already knows where the woman is. So why file a missing persons report and you know where the person is? That one I don't understand. Jaguar already knew that her sister took her mother. Her mother left Shreveport Hotel and went with Lachelle. So she knows her mom is with her sister. She's not missing. She's with family members. That's what the cops are going to tell her. But word on the street is that her mother is now in an assisted living place. But I guess that's all talk because she can't go anywhere now. The car is repossessed. Unless they maybe rent a vehicle to go looking. But I don't think the Jaguar is going to rent a car to go looking for her mother. But this is a mess, folks. No matter who comes into Jaguar's life, it just seems that as long as you rub elbows with Jaguar, your life takes a turn, a downward turn. Because this woman came into Jaguar's life with a car, and at least she had a car. Now, overnight, she don't have a car. Isn't that something?
Pulling up. It's been a minute since Jag had a good pull. When I say pull up, I ain't talking about no diapers. I'm talking about riding in. And it's coming. It's coming. But y'all know me. I'm like Santa Claus I am with my list. Yeah. Watching who's naughty and I'm watching who's nice. I'm collecting all my detail, and when I come back, see, that's how I let people do. I love that movie V for Vendetta. When dude told him, after y'all unload my clips, I'm going to kill every last one of you. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I'm like the V. I'm like the V character. Wow. I'm going to let you shoot every bullet you got. And then here I come.
So this part of the video, Jaguar is talking about getting arrested while she was in the pool in Shreveport.
I get a little sun to get rid of some of my tan lines from Arizona. You know, and it's so odd because even after I got out, you know, in my bathing suit, and I threw on my t-shirt, and I threw on my sweats and my sandals, you know, I took out everything that I had in my pool bag. The one officer took it upstairs, and then I got to shout him out, Gallia's. Yo, much love to Gallia from Boja. I don't mess with a lot of people from Boja or from Boja, you know, law enforcement. But Gallia, he got my respect. And he was like, let's go. And I'm like, I stay here, you know. Please don't take me through the lobby. I'm a member here. Please don't take me through the lobby. And so he walked me around back where would nobody see me, where it wouldn't be on camera. And then he said to me while he was booking me in, "You look really familiar to me." And he said, "Your hair is different. You're the woman from the blue couch." And I'm like, "That's me." He says, "You are Jaguar." And he was like, "Can't lie. I fucks with what you're doing. Keep up the good work." I don't know how many autographs I signed while I was in jail. Ooh. Shout out to Melissa Pilcher. I hope you love your Hamsa. I hope she's home now. Beautiful white woman. She reminded me of Joni Mitchell with the long blonde hair. And so after she had booked in, she started, during rec, she started making her rounds, and they had me caged like an animal the whole time. People don't realize I was in DSEC for 25 days. I was only allowed out of my cell 8 times. And I was never allowed out of my cell when I was allowed out of my cell for more than an hour. I was in my cell 23 to 23 and a half hours a day every day. And for 15 days, I wasn't allowed out of my cell at all. So Melissa had come around and everybody told her, stay away from her. Stay away from her. She a fugitive. She crazy. She wanted whatever. And she looked at me. She said, "You're Auntie Jag from TikTok." Oh my God. And so I was like, huh? The damn officers was calling me Jaguar. They was watching my videos. Oh, yeah, and gossiping with all of the fucking inmates. From Boja to Dallas. I was signing autographs and shit. I'm like, now I see how little Kim felt.
Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, also the like button as we are listening to the video. Thank you.
I got offered a deal. I got offered probation. And guess what? I'm good. Take me to trial. Next court date is next month, but I have my competency hearing this week with the new doctor. And we had a great conversation. I can't wait to do the competency evaluation. What's really interesting was the reason why I was found incompetent last time was because Dr. Pittman said, the forensic psychiatrist for Dallas County, who's about 110 years old. I don't even know why they still let him work. But he said that I answered all the questions right, but I was spouting delusions of grandeur because I wasn't Jaguar right. I was making that up. That's why I was declared incompetent, because I told him the truth about who I am. Even Martin Luther King caught a case or two on his quest for justice, most times denied. You could see the disappointment in his mugshots, and I wonder how many nights alone in his cell did he cry. Martin is probably still crying in his grave as we speak. Honestly, what's really changed since that iconic speech?
So now Jaguar is going to give us a little spoken word.
I had a dream, and we went from a dream to a scheme to a team to a scream. MLK Boulevard are usually the most dangerous streets in our nation. Do you really think we're living what he dreamed about? What a fucking waste of his brilliant imagination. Nobody, somebody, everybody, anybody, bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies. Dreams of success. The kinds that'll probably never come true. And how could that? The game is rigged, and the point spread is always a secret. Try to shine and ball out a little bit just to get snatched back into the ether. Dreams of beautiful vacations at luxury resorts. Cabo, Negril, and Amsterdam, of course. Cannabis cup? Good luck with that. Or maybe I'm just being a bad sport. I just don't see how you're going to make that shit happen with a shitload of felonies and still no passport. Really, I'm not being mean, merely stating the obvious. You were fucked from day one. No one taught you the value of intelligence or how to use your mind like a gun. You're just another lost child turned out and caught up by all the rules and the penal codes. Maybe you should have studied a little more Malcolm X instead of jumping on the bandwagon to sell your soul. Nobody, somebody, everybody, anybody, bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies. There's a young woman who sits in her cell every day, laughs and she jokes and she hopes and prays her days away, making all kinds of deals and compromises, hoping for an early release. Yet all that ever happens is the collection of more commissary receipts. Does anyone know what her charges actually are? Does it even really matter at this point? She's going down in history, a multi-time loser, wishing for a drink and a joint. Sitting around like she's reinventing the wheel, running cons as old as time, not realizing her time isn't appreciating, it's just wasting. And her ass is most definitely not getting fine as wine. Best years of her life going down the drain, much like all of her brains wasted on her drug campaign. I wonder what old MLK would say about this woman today. Is she the dream or the nightmare? Or would he just drop his mic and walk the fuck away? Nobody, somebody, everybody, anybody. Bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies. Myrona's Blues.
That is Jaguar right reading. Spoken word. That was fantastic. Now, you guys got a little whiff of what Jaguar is capable of if she put her mind to it. She don't have to be messing with these internet folks, but she chooses to because she likes to wallow in the mud. All right? She likes the mess. And I believe she likes the mess more than she likes her own music, likes putting out music. Now that she's found a new genre, which is the internet, the messy internet, unfortunately.
I was sitting down with the girls in Loose Stereo and they was talking about, this and that and the unfairness and this. And I was like, sweetheart, how is you're missing the point. You are a walking ATM, my nigga.
No, she wasn't lying about that because most of us know that the prison system, most of it is privatized and those owners are in it for the money. In order for the state to get free labor, they have to incarcerate as many young black men and old, doesn't matter, men, women, doesn't matter. As long as you're black, you are going in that penitentiary once they pick you up for the slightest thing that other nationalities don't get picked up for. I think most people are well aware of that. It's what a lot of people call the new slave system, new slavery, the penitentiary, because when these prisoners go out there to clean the roads and make license plates in the prison and all that stuff, they don't get paid for it. It's free labor, in other words. And these private owners of the prison system makes plenty of money off of each person.
So I did the math right there in the day room floor. I said they get $100 a day for every prisoner here. I said, how many of us are there? What 25? It's $2,500 a day for one tank. You got 40 of them operating. One tank. By the time I got finished doing all of the math, for crying out loud, they gave me one of my cellmates, and didn't nobody bother to inform anybody on the floor or me. I'm not going to say her name, but she is HIV positive. She wasn't on antiretrovirals. They weren't giving her any of the medication, and she caught tuberculosis. They didn't even bother to tell us that she had TB. Like, the second that y'all thought that she had it, you should have gave everybody on the tier a mask. At least that. And with, the HIV not being treated, it was going to accelerate whatever she had else going on. I'm like, y'all trying to kill this girl. I literally wrote kite after kite after kite. Please send the doctor. She's too proud to ask for help. The stupidest thing y'all could have did was put somebody who moonlights as an investigative journalist in this motherfucker. Because I'm writing everything. There wasn't a day you could find me in jail without my notepad, a pen, and the Bible. That's what I came out with. I didn't come out with nothing. Food, whatever, undergarments, everything. I left it all there. They needed it more than I do. And y'all were contributors of that, and those women were very happy. They were very happy. Thank you, mother. Thank you, mother. It's so funny to me when people tell me how I'm a bad mom, and I got strange little girls stuck in jail calling me mother. And a lot of people. I'm not just a mother to my own children. I'm a mother to all. Speaking of mothers, shout out to Kimora. I don't know what her motivations are for speaking out now, but I'm glad she's speaking. Saw one without the other. They were literally best friends. And when she disappeared after Kim died, I'm like, fuck, they got to her. But I'm not surprised at what she's saying about Russell, because I've been saying it for years. Just don't expect him to admit it. He on namaste now. If he ain't gonna tell the truth about Jam Master Jay's death, he ain't gonna tell the truth about this. I said it. I said the A word allegedly.
Yeah.
These niggas is crazy. They're moving people around. But I'm glad. People ask me, Jag, you ain't afraid of what's gonna happen to you, what they're gonna do to you? And I'm like, God marks the number of my days. Me standing firm is making it possible for others to speak. And there are a lot of people that need to start talking. There's a lot of people that are mad at TJ.
Folks, as you can tell, Jaguar Wright is all across the board, okay? She is talking about everything that comes to mind.
A lot of people that are mad at her for signing for my bond. There's a lot of people who wanted me to stay in jail and see what TJ did out of the goodness of her heart, because she was sick and tired of watching people run down on me unfairly. They see it as a threat.
hit that like button as you come on the page and subscribe if you have not subscribed as yet. Thank you. So next is TJ talking about why she's with Jag and why she stayed and did not return back home.
We made a connection. Like I stated before, I was in an 11-year relationship. I checked out mentally a long time ago. Sometimes in life, love just find you. Wasn't looking for it, didn't expect it. Things just happen. I'm here because it feels to my soul. It just feels right. I never stole nobody from nobody. Someone called me a bum. And I said to her, well, I was told to do the same. I said, so I guess TJ figured out which bum she wanted to be with. Running around asking people for exclusive interviews as the woman who Jaguar stole it. I didn't steal anybody, and if I did, what you need to be doing is not calling bloggers. You should be calling the FBI and filing kidnapping charges, because that's what it's called when you steal a human being. It's called kidnapping. It's a federal crime. Showed up here, she was heartbroken, told me she had just gotten dumped, and I said, we're not going to make this week about that. I got a question to ask. TJ, why are you here? Why am I here? Yeah. Everybody thinks they know why you're here. They got a million speculations. I'm asking you, why are you here?
TJ is now stranded. She ain't got no choice than to be there for now.
Like I stated before, I was in an 11-year relationship. I checked out mentally a long time ago. Sometimes in life, love just find you. Wasn't looking for it, didn't expect it. Things just happen. I'm here because it feels to my soul. It just feels right. Yeah, that's that. I never stole nobody from nobody. The woman called me a bum. And I said to her, well, I was told to do the same. I said, so I guess TJ figured out which bum she wanted to be with. Praying for you, though. Because the amount of karma, the amount of evil karma. See, she don't realize what she done. She done got involved with the nasty sector on YouTube. And if I was her, I'd be looking at old Dirty Nikki videos. Because once they get a taste of her, and once the using her as a nemesis for me doesn't work, they're going to turn on her. Yeah. She needs to look up some of that old Dirty Nikki stuff. It got right nasty.
So this part of the video, TJ is explaining what happened when she found out her car was missing, and her telling the manager there at the hotel that her car was missing. And she told him to look again.
So I went outside and the car was gone. So I went to the lobby and I said, my car is gone. And the manager said, what? Are you sure? Let me walk the parking lot because you came in a little late, so you might have forgot where you parked. I said, I didn't. I came in and went back out. Had a little smoke. And it was there. 2 o'clock this morning, it was there. So he said, I'm going to look again. I said, okay, look again. So he come back. He said, well, it's not there. I said, I know. I told you the first time. I told you. And so he was like, well, give me the make, give me the model. He said, are you in any kind of trouble? He said, I heard that you were having a hard time and you were going through some things.
My question is, how does this strange man knows that she was going through some things? Jaguar got a blabber mouth. She was talking about TJ to this man. And TJ, she knows, want to remain private. What is wrong with Jaguar? I think she's trying to sabotage her own relationship.
They'll be able to track down the car. So, called the police. The police asked my information, gave them the information. and found out that the car was repo. I'm amazed by that because it was my father's car that I inherited on his death. So my father, when he passed, he had an estate, and my sister was the one who was supposed to handle the probate court and get the estate. So when I talked to the car dealer, he informed me that my sister was going to do all of that and handle that, and I didn't hear from her again. That was almost 2 years ago, and it's gone. I'm starting to wonder about some things. Wonder about what?
All of these people know your information. Do like would they know that the car was financed, or would they know all of that? Like,
of course they will know. Of course they will know. With people, family, right? Family knows details about your life. So I got to wondering, because if I had this car for 2 years and I have not ever been contacted about a payment, no one is contacting me about a payment. I talked to them when my dad died, talked to my sister. She's the oldest. Fall in line how that goes. I done been to Utah, St. Louis, Maryland, Georgia, I live in New Mexico. So now that I'm here and whom I'm with, my car has been repoed with my things in the car.
This has got to be a marriage made in heaven. Isn't that a pip? Jaguar lost all her things in the van. This woman now lost all her things in the car. Jaguar's U-Haul was towed away. This woman's car was repo. So both of them are between a rock and a hard place. Because she don't want to go back home. TJ don't want to go back home. She's in a hotel. Jaguar don't have a home. She's in a hotel. I'm telling you, the planets are in alignment. These two are made for each other.
This feels very reminiscent of when I was arrested in the pool. And I got into the pool. I was a lawful-abiding citizen. I got out the pool as a fugitive. My. Fred, I got to ask you something. I just want to, I'm very big on connecting dots. Last night, Naisha was watching your show.
So I guess Jaguar is about to say that Naisha is the one who called for the car to be repo. But we all kind of figured that out. This is a scorned woman. This is a woman whose feeling has been hurt. She's been embarrassed. She's been jailed. Well, she has been left behind to fend for these kids. And TJ is supposed to be the provider. I don't know if she's going to still provide now that she needs a new car. Maybe all her money is going to go towards buying this new car. I don't know, honey, but this is a mess. Let's continue to listen.
I know, but I heard too. And after the show, she called our beloved TJ and asked, "Dear TJ Maxx?"
Well, so much for being private. Jaguar is telling the woman's name and everything. Our beloved TJ Maxx. She is just solidifying the name in our brain so we won't forget it. It's Ty, okay? Like TJ Maxx. It's TJ, TJ Maxx. I'm telling you, I say, Jaguar, you are messy, girl.
If she was going to the Tasha K interview, all the things.
She said she was going to take you. Oh, and then she said, no, she won't be taking you, girl.
She said, exactly. She said, because remember in the interview, T said, I'll bring her wherever she needs to go. Mm-hmm. And then TJ gets the phone call from Crime Nation. And after the phone call, and she made it clear that she would be accompanying me, hours later, the car was gone. While we were sleeping. 4 hours later.
So we hear TJ in the background laughing about it. She said 4 hours later. She's correcting the amount of time that it took, allegedly, that it took Naisha to get somebody over there to repo that car. But I'm telling you, it's a mess. Jaguar should write a book. Her life is full of drama.
All I can say is this. If she wanted her to come home, how the fuck she supposed to get there now?
Well, I guess it's a win for Jaguar because now TJ don't have a car. She can always, if she wants to go home, there are ways of getting home. She can get on a plane or other means of getting home. But there are ways of getting home as long as you have money. So YouTubers, that's the long and the short of it. This video was a video from hell. It took me so long to edit it. It took me so long to do everything concerning this video that I know Jaguar Spirit had a hand in it, okay? Had a hand in me doing this video like she didn't want me to put it out. It took me a long time, like all day to edit, which is very unusual for any video. This should have only taken me 2 hours. Anywho, I gotta go get me some sage and burn some sage and walk around the house a couple of times and maybe get some crow's foot and chicken foot and throw it like you're throwing dice in front of my door. I don't know. I need to do something to ward off these evil spirits that Jaguar sent my way. All right, YouTubers, drop it in the comment section if you think this is gonna last and how long. Be back to how long, honey, because this is not looking to me like if they are on solid ground. This is not solid grounds, okay? But we'll see. I'm over and out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for